Hello everyone, hope you're all well and thanks very much for all the support with my videos, the likes, shares and comments. I'm very appreciative to everybody who has pressed subscribe to my YouTube channel also as well. Today I want to speak about the RTE scandal. Never let a good crisis go to waste. That should be the government's mantra from the latest report called A New Direction that came out from the Director General Kevin Backhurst during the week, following the litany of scandals we've seen in RTE over the last number of years, from Ryan Tubridy's payments to the barter accounts to the obscene salaries for executives and overpaid presenters, and not to mention the flip-flop scandal as well. We won't go there today. So we know it was a small percentage of the members of RTE were responsible. As I've said, the resultant policies are a new direction. Let's go and privatise the public service broadcaster. We know that RTE has done the government's bidding for a long number of years and is complicit in so many of the crises we're facing today because of their never-ending propaganda that they're pushing the government's agenda at every turn. And we know a huge amount of fundraising and advertising is coming through RTE as well from private advertisers that make them complicit again in many more crises we face. During the last week, the new direction was named by Kevin Backhurst. Now, the new direction has included the outsourcing of two of the programmes, Late Late Show and Fair City. That's a drama here in Ireland. 400 job losses via voluntary redundancy. A move towards a digital focus and a daily news podcast and an RTE news app. This is the new direction they want to move towards. And also they want a disinformation unit, which is going to include a disinformation correspondent to be employed by 2025. Also, they're going to have joint ventures with independent service providers and sell off part of Montrose, and not to mention the licence fee, the lucrative licence fee that they're looking to get more of as well. Now, Ireland has had a massive crisis, for instance, with the so-called public service broadcaster and their complicity in a lot of our crises and the privatisation. Today, as you can see behind me, I'm just close enough to Croke Park where these All-Ireland quarter-finals are being played, and two of these matches are being shown on a pay-per-view service, an internet provider service, which is going to cost people to watch our national games on television, which is absolutely a disgrace. This was brought in a number of years ago, back in 2022, which was a subscription-based sports channel brought forward for RTE, where you have to pay up to €150 per year to get subscriptions to our national games, a joint venture between RTE and the GAA. So a lot of people can't watch our national games because they're not free to air, which they should be free to air, and the players, we remember, don't get paid. So plenty of money to make in the profits for RTE. Also, they're speaking about 400 job losses. RTE, we know, has been a notoriously bad employer for a lot of low paid workers. When you consider a lot of employees were on 0-hour contracts, low paid work, they're looking now to drive towards outsourcing a lot of the work to private companies, and we all know they have very poor, to put it very mildly, workers' rights records as well. So they're going to move towards a digital focus also as well, they said, and this is part of the European Union Digital Services Act in 2022, which was supposed to tighten controls on content, and the Electoral Commission as well was given extended powers. So then we can see the Commission Oman, for instance, famous troop ministry, is the regulator now for the RTE and many of these media outlets. So they've been funded by €2.7 million to support digital services in the last year as well. And this is what RTE are pushing, this new Disinformation Correspondence, which is going to protect society from illegal or harmful content. So we've seen more of this stuff going on as they're going to try and silence dissent, silence debate. And we know RTE work within strict editorial controls where there is a limit to where the debate is being held. So I myself was a part of this before, where I was at a discussion on RTE, and of course they won't discuss certain issues because it might sail too close to the wind. So we need to get the truth out there. So what's the best way to counter that? Let's bring in a disinformation correspondent to counter truth. You couldn't make it up. As I said, Montrose, they're looking also to sell off part of Montrose, which is a big site out in Dublin 4. Already back in 2017, 8.5 acres were sold off for €107.5 million to Cairn Homes. Their head is Michael Stanley. Of course, they're very heavily involved and invested in lobbying with the government for many years. And Michael Noonan also as well, ex-Minister for Finance, has been lobbied by many of those big developers who are now profiting from huge pricey homes out in Dublin 4. Now the agenda is to sell off more of the land to private developers to profit off to more people into housing misery. And this is the agenda. The agenda is, with the licence fee also as well, is to push it through revenue as well. Last year 800,000 people paid the revenue, or paid the licence fee of €160 in Ireland, down about 15-20%. It's amazing it's such a high figure considering the scandals that are being paid and the huge payments of all these presenters and executives, huge amounts of salaries. The top 100 earners in RTE earn over €100,000 up to €520,000, which is absolutely insane when you consider, as I said, that many of these workers that work in the media business are on very low pay, very poor conditions, and the attack on workers' rights will continue with the privatisation and outsourcing of our basic public services. It's vitally important. We need a proper public service broadcaster in Ireland that's independent and free of any bias, such as government interference or political interference or advertising interference by big corporations and big companies who benefit from that as well. So, which we don't have in Ireland. We have a complicit media and RTE which currently stands on the side of the government with everything, pushes the narrative and doesn't give a balanced, reasonable debate. And any democracy, a functioning democracy, that's the minimum you acquire off your media. But then when they profit from things like the GAA and our national games, this is the agenda: privatise it, drive down workers' conditions. This is the agenda of the Irish government towards the public service broadcaster we have in Ireland as well. As I said, we need an independent, balanced, fair public service broadcaster in Ireland that's funded directly, not this model they have at the moment that RTE has become, which is again makes it worse for the people who are the genuine workers within those organisations that are being on next to no rights and conditions and very low pay as well. So thanks for joining me today on my videos. Please press subscribe to my YouTube channel, and thanks for everybody who supports me through Buy Me a Coffee as well. I'm very grateful. So from Dublin today, Slán. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye bye.